You ever see a fire truck, 3 cop cars, and a drone all pointed at one beat-up porch swing and realize the emergency is a pair of boots and a flag? That's how my Friday night went down on Alder Lantern Lake. Blue and red lights bouncing off the water, my neighbors gawking from their cabins, and me standing there thinking, all this because my son's combat boots and a folded American flag were sitting on the railing right where he left them. The HOA president visor clipboard attitude points at the boots like I'd left a live grenade out for the loons to play with. Weapons cache, she declares like she's the sheriff and I'm public enemy number 1. Meanwhile, a loon in the cove actually starts laughing, no joke, like even the wildlife thought this whole circus was nuts. My name's Nolan Preto, 40 years old, civil engineer, sleep-deprived, not particularly heroic. I come to this cabin to nap in a hammock and fish badly, sometimes both at the same time. My son Mateo shipped out 3 weeks ago. Before he left, I promised to keep his spot at the lake just how he liked it. Boots on the railing, fly rod leaning by the door with his favorite purple streamer Polaroid taped to the cooler, him grinning sunburned, holding up his personal best trout. It's not a shrine. It's just my way of feeling like he's still close even when he's halfway across the world serving his country. Honestly, this cabin isn't much 1,000 feet of knotty pine and hand-me-down furniture, but it's got half an acre of shoreline and every memory that matters. Mateo was 7 when we bought it. My wife was still alive then. She wanted a place where we could unplug, teach our son to bait a hook point out Orion's belt from the dock. When she passed, this place turned into our lifeline. Every other weekend, Mateo and I would drive up, make lumpy pancakes, watch old sci-fi DVDs, pretend everything was fine. And then there's Beatrice Culver, president of the Cedar Lantern Shores Property Owners Council, which sounds impressive. If you don't know, she basically rules over snowplow schedules and the color of people's flower pots. Mid-50s, divorced, twice more free time than is healthy. Her cabin's like a model home, matching rockers, a welcome mat. Nobody's dared step on ferns arranged for maximum feng shui. She's the kind of person who thinks community means everyone lives like a page out of a Pottery Barn catalog. Beatrice decided my porch was an eyesore, a disruption to her vision of lakeside bliss. Didn't start with Mateo's boots either. 2 summers ago, she tried to ban dock fishing because ripples disturbed her yoga practice on her paddleboard. Last year, it was kayak color restrictions. Only earth tones allowed. She sniffed as if my nephew's neon kayak was single-handedly ruining the lake. The community shot her down both times, but she clung to power because, well, nobody else wanted to organize the septic pump-out schedule. First, it was a note porch clutter boots bag, $50 fine. Then another unapproved flag folding display, $100. She even sent a PDF called Veteran Aesthetic Guidelines, which was literally just empty pages with her signature watermark. I actually laughed. Tried calling her to explain. She cut me off lecturing about property values and community standards. I'm sure your son is very brave. She says flat as a week-old soda, but we all make sacrifices for the greater good. The greater good being apparently her own personal sense of what's pretty. So I got out the actual HOA documents, nothing in there about boots or flags, and sent her a polite legal response. She fires back with a 37-page visual harmony addendum dated 3 days after Mateo deployed. Then she goes full surveillance, starts doing morning patrols in her golf cart, spa music blaring, parking 15 feet from my porch to take photos on her tablet like she's on safari. She emails the neighbors about my aggressive staging. Claims my son's gear violates the spirit of community cohesion. I remind her again that my son's overseas and the cabin rules don't mention boots or flags or duffel bags. Next day, she hosts a special meeting, just her and her bathroom mirror, best I can tell, and invents a new rule. Honestly, it would be funny if it wasn't so infuriating. She starts a Facebook group, Concerned Citizens of Cedar Lantern Shores. 6 members. 4 of them, clearly her own burner accounts, all with the same stock photo sunset. The other two, her sister and some guy hawking essential oils. 1 week later, I come up to the lake and find a bright orange violation sticker slapped right on my son's flag triangle like a parking ticket on a memory. That right there was the line. My hands shook, peeling it off, trying not to rip the fabric that covered my son's grandfather's coffin. And then Beatrice goes, nuclear calls 911, reports possible munitions at my address. I'd eventually hear the dispatchers recording in court. Tactical staging, potential explosive devices, suspicious military-grade equipment. She gave them the full action movie script. So out come the deputies, the fire truck, even a bomb tech from the county seat. Poor guy got yanked out of a training exercise for this. Beatrice's nephew showed up with a drone to document the threat, promptly flew it into my wind chimes, which at least made me smile. Neighbors started pouring out in bathrobes in confusion, Beatrice narrating like it's the Super Bowl. Mrs. Chen from 2 cabins down asks what danger exactly we're all supposed to be facing. Beatrice just points at the boots. Those could be hiding anything, she insists. Deputy Alvarez, good guy patient, asks if he can check my porch. I unlock the door, lay the flag down gentle, tell him these are my son's things he's serving overseas. Alvarez nods, calls off the whole circus. Then after reading Beatrice's melodramatic text to the board copied to the sheriff's office, naturally he writes her up for false reporting and warns her about harassment. You'd think that'd be the end of it. Nope. Beatrice tries quoting Section 12 visual tranquility. Alvarez asks for the actual HOA covenants. She whips out her binder like she's defending the Constitution. He counters with the county plat and puts the association attorney on speaker. Turns out Cedar Lantern Shores is just a voluntary maintenance group for docks and snowplows. No porch police, no aesthetic dictators. Word gets out. That night we gather in the recreation hall, pine walls, trophy fish on the wall, looking as skeptical as the rest of us. I brought my deed. So did everyone else who'd been ticketed for wind chimes, Christmas lights, even a gnome that undermined property values. Turns out I wasn't her only target. Old Man Rodriguez fined for July Christmas lights. Patel family violation for olfactory pollution they'd been making curry. Jenny, a marine biologist, cited for putting up a fish ID sign on the dock. Story after story, folks getting angrier by the minute. Alvarez gives a little talk, false reporting, civil harassment badge off, but nobody doubted his authority. Then Colleen, my neighbor, reads a letter from her sister at the Justice Department reminding us that harassing military families over lawful displays can attract some very serious scrutiny. She drops phrases like federal protections and attorney general investigation. Suddenly everyone's sitting up straight. Samir, the HOA treasurer, who always looks like he's 5 minutes from quitting, admits dues paid for a drone, monogrammed violation stickers, and a flag compliance retreat at a county spa. The room inhales as one pin drop silence. Someone calls for a special meeting right then. Quorum 43 out of 52 owners show up or send proxies. We run the nuclear option, amend, and dissolve all enforcement powers. Needed 2/3 got 82%. From then on, the council's just for docks, snow removal, septic, no more fines, no more spa music, golf carts, no more HOA president on a power trip. Beatrice tries to object, waves her binder, talks about founder's vision. The developer was a lumber company in '78, so yeah, right. Somebody asks her to sit down, she refuses, so someone else makes a motion to remove her for disruption. Passes unanimous. Then a vote banned Beatrice from any officer role for life, authorized a civil harassment claim, and the 911 stunt. The vote is 41-1, Beatrice being her own only supporter, which honestly is perfect. Samir hands over the receipts where every penny went. I hand over the violation sticker still crumpled from her flag stunt. Alvarez, off duty but grinning, raises an eyebrow like, oh, this is going to be good. Our attorney sends a demand letter before the coffee's cold. Beatrice folds in 72 hours. Her own lawyer looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. She agrees to pay $25,000 for a new veterans fishing dock. Another $15,000 split among the homeowners. She harassed a public apology letter to Mateo, which she has to read out loud at the next meeting, and the county emergency response bill over $8,000. Watching her write those checks, face white as February snow, almost made the last 6 months worth it. But it didn't end there. The county prosecutor, Delgado, tough as nails, presses charges for misdemeanor false reporting. $1,000 fine, 6 months probation, 40 hours community service, and a course on not wasting emergency resources. The judge even throws in extra bills from the bomb tech and the fire department. By the end, she's out over $50,000. Last time I saw Beatrice, she was standing in the rec hall visor, gone hair in a messy ponytail, clutching paperwork she could barely read. "This isn't fair," she croaked. "I was protecting property values." No one replied. Even the mounted fish looked like it was smirking. She left heels echoing down the pine hallway door, swinging shut behind her. Funny how a pair of boots and a flag can show you who your real neighbors are and who's just playing dress-up with a little power. What do you think? Where's the line between community standards and plain old bullying? When does an HOA stop being helpful and start turning into the neighborhood police? Let me know below. Drop your own HOA horror stories. Tell me where you're watching from, and yeah, if you think justice was served or if this was just a fluke. Don't forget to hit share if you know someone who needs to hear this, and maybe, just maybe, next time you see combat boots on a porch, you'll remember who they belong to.